like energy.
Crack. Hi, we're 123, the Collegiate Collective. This is Aaminah, Sydney, Karla, Taryn, Lilli, Elxx.
You're caught up.
Now you're caught up.
So today's video is going to be SAT and ACT tips.
As promised.
Yes.
In our last video, which if you haven't watched it, pause this video right now and go watch that.
I'll put a little card. I'll put it in the description. Is it?
This side, the little eye thing.
It'll be
learning.
Yeah.
One day you will find the video, and that one day might be now.
Blue. So
What's first on the list to talk about?
We're talking about.
Anywho, okay.
it's been a really rough journey.
We've been through it today.
Yeah. We need to be efficient because Taryn's dog needs to be fed.
My dog needs to be fed.
Yeah.
His name is Milo, and he is very big and hungry.
Our first
Sounds
tip.
No!
I was gonna say that sounds like a Twitter bio.
It's like a really bad Tinder account.
Anywho.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Let's get started. Let's talk about Khan Academy.
Carla, take it away.
Okay, so Khan Academy. Our first tip for you guys is to sign up for Khan Academy online. This is kind of SAT specific.
Don't look bored.
Thanks, guys. Anywho, this is SAT specific, and it's free to sign up online. It kind of gives you, Sydney said, 8 full practice tests before you to prepare, and it's a really good resource because it's very personalized.
Yeah. What else? It's also interactive. Like I had the big, thick textbook, which was really hard to get through. So Khan Academy at least is interactive, so you can kind of track your progress rather than just flipping through a book.
It's especially helpful if you took the PSAT because it gives you personalized recommendations. Yes.
You can see what questions you miss most on or what you need to work on, and it gives you basic study sessions based on that.
And speaking of the PSAT, we recommend that you take it as many times as possible. I didn't take it, but I feel like if I did, that would have improved my score.
I took it and I improved every time. Yeah.
So take
I
PSAT.
took it
once, I think.
I took it twice.
I took it twice too.
I think I took it
Might
once.
It might be a little late for you guys to take it twice if you're watching this. However, if you still can.
Yeah, if you're a sophomore.
If you're a
If you're a
5-year-old, then you're
sophomore,
ahead of
you should
curve.
And then Khan Academy doesn't have ACT test prep, but there's a website called Crack ACT.
Are we gonna get flagged for this?
I don't know.
Crack ACT. Boom.
Yeah, it's called Crack ACT. It has a lot of
Is it
sample
free?
tests. Yeah.
I know there's also an app for the ACT that you can practice on. It's kind of like a knockoff Khan Academy.
If you have a question a day that you can do and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what Crack
For
ACT
my
is.
ACT, I stayed through varsity tutors, which was really, really helpful, but it does cost money. I didn't have to pay for it. My friend had stuff left over in her account. Anyway,
Connection.
there's a tutor who FaceTimes you basically, and they track your progress, and you take practice tests with them, and they remember everything that you need to work on. So even getting with a tutor is really helpful.
Okay,
Okay. Did you think it was worth it?
I definitely think it was worth it. I took the ACT once, and it was better. My ACT score was better than my SAT score, and I think it was because of the tutoring that I had before.
I had a different experience with tutoring. Mine was a group tutoring,
Yeah.
and it was
No,
That was a traumatic experience. Complete waste of my time.
Basically, we
That
went to
was
the
a-
library
was a-
for these sessions, and the guy had no idea what he was doing, and it did not help at all.
Was his name Rogelio?
No.
I don't
It was
know
this
his
white guy.
name. Yeah. He was the most basic looking white guy.
I knew. I just.
If you're
I walked
watching,
in, I
thank
was like,
you.
this thing is taken.
All right. And then the next tip that we have is to take both the SAT and ACT, which we kind of touched on.
They're very different
They
tests.
are.
Personally, I like the SAT better, but I did better on the ACT. So look at, we mentioned in our last video, look at what your school requires. Some require both, some require only one, or whatever. Some only require the best score you want to send. So look at that.
In my opinion, SAT was it's harder, but they give you more time for the questions. Whereas ACT, it's a little bit easier, but there's just so many questions that it's hard to get through all of them.
The timing is nasty.
And there's also science on the ACT
Yeah,
and SAT.
But it's not even
science
it's not even science though. It's just reading scientific material.
Yeah.
It's you know how on the SAT, one of the reading passages is on a science article?
Yeah.
That's what the science section is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
makes
of
sense.
ACT.
So for pacing, at least for the SAT, it's like kind of advised that you take 15 minutes each for like the reading passage and then all the questions that go along with it. So that block is like 15 minutes each. So I personally liked how I can pace myself with that. Like if you have like a clock, well you should have a clock in the testing room. Then you could just look at that and see how you're like progressing.
Wear a
Always
watch.
take a watch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because there have been times where there wasn't a clock in sight.
Yeah.
That's annoying how we have to constantly.
Or they write the time on the board, but that doesn't do anything.
No, I had a proctor when
Well,
I took the ACT. He didn't write anything. He didn't give us anything.
Yeah.
When I got
Yeah.
scratch paper for like whenever we started, I'd write down the time really quick so I know how long I had.
Yeah.
Just write on the scratch paper.
But if you do run out of time, which will probably happen on especially the ACT, we recommend doing like a letter of the day where you kind of pick a letter, and then if you don't have enough time to finish the questions, just bubble all. If your letter is C, just like finish the Scantron and so like C, because chances are you'll get some of them right. Whereas if you like guess like A, B, just like if you don't have enough time. Or
No, what letter?
One letter. One letter.
Pick a letter and then you
Really
bubble
inspired.
them all in.
Shape.
Do some
That's your
artwork
Rex.
in there.
Diagonal.
So yeah, just pick a letter and then bubble them all in. And
This
you
is
have to
not
get
time
all
for
those.
creativity, okay?
So yeah, you need to get them done. Speaking
Try them
of, if
again.
you don't have enough time, I would say to kind of like cherry pick, like do the easier questions that you know you're gonna get right first, so you know you can get to them and get some points for that, and then go back to like the harder ones that you have to think about after when you have time.
Yeah.
So skip any hard questions that take like a long time, because you might have to end up guessing on those anyway.
And if you have to guess, choose your letter of the day.
And if you think about it, like the harder questions aren't weighted more than the easier questions, you know?
Yeah.
So try to like get as many easier ones.
Yeah.
And you don't get points off for guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fill them all in, no matter, even if you have no idea, just put something down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like time-wise. I've heard of some people taking these tests like sophomore year. I don't think that's necessary.
I wouldn't recommend just because I feel like
You
take
learn
a
a lot of
P-
stuff junior year too.
Yeah, that'll help you on your test.
Take the PSAT though, sophomore year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year and junior
Honestly,
year.
I think we could all agree. Take it your junior year for sure.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
At least I'd say the latest is to take it.
Saying both
In
of
the
them?
May
ACT
of
and
June.
SAT?
Yeah, I don't
I'd
know.
say take both.
Yeah, take the SAT or ACT for the first time.
See
Your
what you do
spring
better
semester
on.
of your junior year,
Mhm.
like at
Yeah.
the latest.
Yeah.
And then registering wise, don't wait to register, because I know some people who they try to get it at their school and then there's no space at their school, so then they have to drive
Yeah.
real far to
Yeah.
take the test.
And I know, like for our
2
school,
hours.
we have a nearby school that always takes their tests at ours. So
Oh,
like
they
some
float,
of
yeah.
so like some of like our own students wouldn't even get a spot, and they'd have to go to like another town.
So sign up for them early, or you'll cry after you finish.
Or you'll have to take it at a school that doesn't have AC in August.
And you also don't want
Yeah,
to.
that's what I'm talking about.
You don't want to have to wake up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
To go drive to
there.
Nevada or something.
Yeah.
That was a shame.
Guess who?
But speaking of, also make sure you have pencils before the day of the test. 'Cause I've had
Number
to go
2,
try and
sharpen.
get pencils
Yes.
the day of.
Ticonderoga. If you get
Ticonderoga.
Yes.
Ticonderoga sponsor us.
the triangle black ones are my favorite because they're a little softer.
Really?
Yeah.
Make sure you
really
have
like
a
I like the
calculator
class
that is
It's a
numbers.
high
approved.
quality
Easy
one.
them. Yeah.
A calculator that is approved by
TIA
college
fours,
board.
lovely
And one that
calculator.
you're good at using too. Don't have one like
Yeah, don't get your TI 89 that you
third
really know
time
how to
using
use.
it. Yeah, you want to know.
Know how to use your calculator.
You want to know those calculator shortcuts because they come in handy.
Yes. Make sure it's charged or you have batteries.
Bring extra
And
batteries
then
just in
honestly,
case.
everyone says this, but like have a good night's sleep, eat breakfast.
Take a snack.
Take a
Food is
snack.
essential. Yeah, just saying.
Go
Water
to the
and a
bathroom
snack.
before, so you don't want to be thinking about that when you're taking a test.
But at the end of the
That's why I
day,
looked at you. Sorry, I didn't out you like that. Okay, so that's
Yay.
that.
yeah.
That's that
Yeah.
one.
Good luck on your testing.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world.
1, 2, 3. Good luck. Good luck, Charlie.
And on that note.